Item 43, amending Ordinance 16719, adopted December 13, 2017, which establishing voting precincts within Wards 1, 2, and 3 of East Baton Rouge Parish and designating places so as to create prospective precincts by the split and or merger of precinct geography in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 18:532 and 18:532.1 and 2016 HCR 100, and reestablish the designated polling locations for all precincts within the parish of East Baton Rouge by the registrar of voters. Ladies and gentlemen, the public hearing, we speak on item 43. Drake Brignac. Come on.
I'm not Drake Brignac.
Okay.
I'm Zoe Williamson. I'm the president of Go Vote LSU. And I'm just going to give a little bit more background for why this is before you.
Okay.
So in 2016, members of my organization, Go Vote LSU, stood before the Louisiana legislature and made the case for why LSU students deserve an accessible polling place. A bill authored by 8 House Democrats and 9 House Republicans requesting you, the East Baton Rouge Metropolitan Council, to consolidate 2 polling places on LSU's campus. The goal 3 years ago was to provide for 1 centralized polling location for LSU students to vote, and the resolution passed both chambers and was signed by Governor Edwards. However, 3 years later, we've still yet to see this request come to fruition. Currently, LSU is split into 2 different voting precincts, Precinct 44 and Precinct 46. Students that live on the east side of Highland Road, like students in the Honors College and on Greek Row, have access to an on-campus polling place at the University Laboratory School. However, students living on the west side of Highland Road, students living in Precinct 46, have to vote at University Terrace Elementary, which is actually not on campus. And this split of the student vote causes confusion about where students should go to vote, and it makes it nearly impossible for on-campus get-out-the-vote organizations like Go Vote LSU to advertise about an on-campus polling place, because there actually isn't an on-campus polling place for all students. If a student lives on the west side of campus, showed up to vote at U High, they could vote in federal elections, but they could not vote in state and local elections. They would be turned away. So that's what makes it so difficult for us to make sure that every student knows which polling place to go to. We would have to ask them exactly which dorm they live in and then instruct them that way, rather than being like, all students can go and vote at U High. That is why Go Vote requested a single consolidated precinct, and that's why we believed that it was necessary. But now we realize that a single precinct is not possible as we envisioned it. Not only do both precincts contain members of the Baton Rouge community that would be displaced by a precinct consolidation, but the 2 precincts are actually within 2 different state legislative districts, and we do not want to displace any of the members that currently vote in their neighborhoods. As much as we want students to vote as easily as possible, we also recognize that disenfranchisement for some in the exchange for ease of others is definitely not our goal. That is why we worked with Council Members Freiberg, Council Members Wicker, and Registrar Rayborn to come up with a solution that works for all parties involved. We propose that the boundaries of Precinct 46 be redrawn so that they only encompass areas that are considered LSU's campus. This will take the members of the Baton Rouge community that live near the campus out of the precinct and put them into Precinct 5.
You could please start wrapping up. You got 8 seconds.
Sorry. And we want it to be clear that this is entirely so that students have the accessibility to vote, and it doesn't disenfranchise members of the community.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the public hearing, we're speaking on item 43. Is there a Drake Brignac?
So I'd like to apologize for that mix-up. I wanted Zoe to speak first. I'm a member of Go Vote LSU, a campus organization, as Zoe said, but I wanted to come up here and share just a bit of my personal experience. So my family lives in Prairieville, Louisiana, and I go to school at LSU here in Baton Rouge. So I have to go vote every November at Dutchtown High School. Now, this past November, I went to go vote at Dutchtown and had about 2 hours before polling places closed, and it took me nearly an hour to get there by car. I was lucky enough to be able to vote. However, I was very worried that I would miss my opportunity. Voting is something I really enjoy because I study political communications at LSU, but I also enjoy it because it's become a very personal experience to my dad and I. It sounds crazy, but I remember from the time I had moved out here for high school, I would stand in the in the voting booth with my dad as he voted. So 2014, 2016, and then in 2018, when I could vote, we went together and we were able to vote together. And it broke my heart when on the runoff in December, I received a text from my father saying, I didn't see that you voted today, because he had gone to vote at our precinct in Dutchtown and I couldn't make it. I was busy with school, I had many things to do during the day, and I couldn't make it out to Dutchtown in time. And it was something really small, one election, one vote truly, but it sounds insane. But that one moment that my dad was more civically engaged than me and we had been so tied together really broke it. And I would have loved the opportunity to say, I did vote, Dad. I went down the street and sent him a little picture of my ability to vote. So the reason I'm here speaking and asking for y'all to consider redrawing those voting precinct lines is because students like me who want to vote, who have that desire to be civically engaged, who want to enact change in their community, who cannot do it because they might have work, they might have to study, they might need to work with an organization, whatever it may be. And that really holds precedent in our lives because it'll define our future. But voting defines our future just as much as our education here. And I believe that as a city council, y'all have the opportunity to allow us to enact change, not only as students, but as active members of the voting community. And I would ask that you encourage or consider this legislation and pass it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the public hearing, we're speaking on item 43. You please give your name and address, please.
Hey, I'm Jennifer Harding. I live in Council District 7. I don't have anything to say on the item. I just want to, can we just all give these young people who are passionate about voting and civic engagement some round of applause? It just makes me really excited.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the public hearing, we're speaking on item 43. Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilman Luke.
First, I want to congratulate Tara on getting this done, something we talked about at least 2 years ago. And at the time, I think Steve was just getting appointed or close. So it's something that she didn't forget about. Unfortunately, I did. But I think it's more a reflection of my age and your youth.
Thank you. I received that.
So congratulations on getting that done. And second, I can't tell you how happy I am to see, and y'all aren't millennials. What is your generation called? Gen Z. And I don't really know what that means, right? But I have millennials and Gen Z sons that I have encouraged to vote, and with varying success, right? But as the lady said before, I'm so excited to see y'all get involved in the political future, because having 3 boys, all they do is complain to me about politics, right, and about things. And then I ask them, did you vote? And they're like, well, no, I didn't get to vote. And my oldest has moved to Texas and is now a registered voter in Texas, which I was very excited for. And you can thank Ted Cruz for motivating him to register, but not necessarily to vote for Ted Cruz. So thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it. I'm excited. This is something, by the way, that LSU contacted me about to get done 2 years ago. So the university wants you guys and ladies to vote and get more active in the community, and nothing's going to change until you do. So anytime I can help, call me, but definitely call Tara first.
You finished, Councilman?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wicker.
Thank you. I just want to concur with the comments that have been made. A lot of times you don't know with the transition in leadership in terms of one semester to the next semester, and the students that are going in and out, whether or not initiatives are actually going to survive. And I'm so excited about the fact that this has survived a long time. This is something that Go Vote has been working on. I found out about the organization many years ago, and that was one of the first things that you guys talked to me about even back then. And I know a lot of those kids that were part of that have graduated and moved on, but I'm so excited that this initiative has continued, and I agree with Jen. I think that now that we're seeing more young people active and getting involved in the political process, I saw young Maya Richardson that was here earlier, and her active voice and what she did back in 2016, it's just been phenomenal. And so I want to just encourage you guys to keep this effort moving. Continue. You've worked so hard on this and making sure that y'all are out there getting people registered to vote and making sure that you had enough of the qualifiers to be able to make this come to fruition. So again, I appreciate you guys. And is it just the girls that are here with the purple shirts? Y'all look so cute. Oh, you okay? Yeah, he's here. I'm sorry, honey. I'm not going to do that. But the women lead a lot of times. But y'all look good. You did a great job. And so thank you all for making this happen. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Council members, just real quick, there's only 7 members. I think Councilwoman America Green's back there, so there's only 8 in here. So please watch the count of numbers before you leave. Need a motion to approve by Wicker, second by Loop. Are there any objections? Seeing none, item 43. I'm sorry, I'm apologize. We need a motion to approve as amended to reference ordinance 16956. So motion approved by Wicker, second by Loop. Any objections? Seeing none, item 43 has been approved.